What's up, people? I am back, baby. All right, here we go, people. Today we are going to be doing some hands-on measuring work between some cities in North Carolina. So we're going to be doing a little talk today about the NC map scale. I sent home with you, those of you that were here on Friday, I sent home with you a little ruler here like this. So the first thing you're going to need to do is cut off this side of the ruler over here. That's the centimeter side. So make sure you got some scissors. All right, make sure you cut that bad boy off so you can just barely see the edge of the ruler. Okay, so we're going to take that, just snip it off right there. All right, so it should look something like that. Okay, and again, we're making sure we're using the centimeter side right here. Okay, so make sure you cut that off. If you want to cut the other side off, you can too, but I'm just cutting off that one side where we see better on that. All right, so we're going to find the space between these cities in real miles by using some scale work here. So if you know this song, you can send it to me later. All right, yo, let's get jiggy with it. All right, so we got our ruler now. Okay, we're going to use this little joker here that I ran off for you. We should have a copy of the North Carolina map, which looks something like that. And then we're going to be doing some distance between some of these cities. Now, I'm not going to do the actual ones that are on here. I am going to use the scales that are on here just so I can give you a couple examples of that. But I'm not going to use these exact problems because I ain't going to give you the answers to them 10. But I'm going to make up some, okay, between. So as you can see in this first section, our scale we're using is right here. Okay, this part is important. Our scale is 6 centimeters equals 32 miles. Okay, 6 centimeters equals 32 miles. We're going to find the real space between these cities. So making sure I don't pick something that's on here. So of course we are Thomasville, and let's go Thomasville to Durham. That's not one on here. All right, so we're going to do Thomasville to Durham is the one we're going to do first. Find the distance between Thomasville, all right, where we are here in Old Tatertown, and we're going to go to Durham, which of course where Duke is located. So if you're a Duke fan, that ought to make you happy. I am not, but I just saw that one pop out at me, so I'm going to use that. All right, so over here, if you look on the map, you can see Durham is right here. There's a little star right there above Durham. Okay, that little plus thing right there. All right, and over here is Thomasville. Of course, that's us, and you can see I've got a big dot over here where we are. I hope all this fits in here. So we're going to be measuring from that little spot at Durham to that little spot right there, that little dot where I've got Thomasville circled. So I'm going to measure between those with my ruler. All right, I'm going to do the same thing you would be doing so you can see how it works. So I'm going to take and put the 0 right there on Thomasville. And then you can see the little thing over here at Durham. So I'm going to go to the nearest tenths place as close as I can get it. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.2 centimeters right there, okay? So that is 16.2 centimeters from that middle of that dot at Thomasville to the middle of that little cross over there. So 16.2 centimeters is my measurement, okay? So again, you're going to do the same thing with yours, okay? Go from the middle of one dot to the middle of the other dot. Now I'm going to set up and solve my proportion, okay? So I've got to set up a proportion and I've got to solve it. This part right here always gets written down first, okay? So I'm going to write down 6 centimeters over 32 miles equals, now I've got centimeters on top here in this ratio. I've got to put my centimeter measurement over here on the top of the other one, so that'd be 16.2 centimeters over X. Okay, so you always want to put the scale down first. So that's the 6 centimeters over 32 miles. Okay, so just copy it down right as a ratio right there. Then take your measurement that you got on your ruler and put it in the top over there, because that's centimeters on top on that one, and that's centimeters on top on that one. All right, so now we're going to solve it. Let's see, have I even got a have I even got a calculator sitting here? Of course I got my phone, but I'll just use this instead. All right, so 6 times x, of course we know 6 times x is just 6x, so we got that part. Okay, cross product there. Now I got to do my cross product here. 32 times 16.2, 32 times 16.2, and that is 518.4. All right, now I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides, of course, to solve this, because 6 divided by 6 is 1. They cancel out. So now I'm going to do 518.4
86.4 divided by 6. I don't know if y'all can see that. So it's 86.4 miles, really. Okay, so X is 86.4 miles. So if you could drive from Thomasville to Durham in a straight line, okay, across that map, okay. Of course, you know you can't do that because there's not a straight road from Thomasville to Durham. But if you could drive straight from Thomasville to Durham in a straight line as possible, okay, it would actually be about 86.5 miles. Now it's probably more than that in reality, but you know, that's what we got for that one. All right, so let's do another one using that same scale. Okay, we'll do 2 with the first scale and then 2 with the other scale. All right, so our scale we're still using here is 6 centimeters equals 32 miles. Okay, going to keep that same scale for this problem. All right, so let's do another one. Let's see, let me look on here. Let's find us some towns that we got around us here. All right, so let's go from Concord down here. You can see Concord's at the bottom. I've got that little dot down there for Concord. All right, let's go from Concord to Greensboro. Let me make sure that's not one I've got on here. Nope, I don't have Concord to Greensboro. I've got Concord to Winston-Salem. All right, that'll work. So we're going Concord to Greensboro. So I'm going from there. Okay, so going from there to there, and I'm going to measure from the middle of that dot at Concord to the middle of that dot at Greensboro. Okay, so let me get my little ruler back out. Y'all should have one of these. So Concord to Greensboro, line it up right there in the middle of that dot. And oh, that looks like that's 11.5 actually. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11.5 centimeters on the dot. All right, so it's 11.5 centimeters. You can see it right there, 11.5 centimeters right there. So our measurement between Concord and Greensboro, all right, Concord to Greensboro was 11.5 centimeters. All right, so we're going to take that measurement that we got, and we're going to actually turn it into the real miles between Concord and Greensboro. See, hey, now, if we could drive in a straight line or fly in a straight line, whatever, from Concord to Greensboro, how many that would be. So again, you always want to start with the scale. Put that first. So that's 6 centimeters over 32 miles equals 11.5 centimeters over X. Okay, so we got that set up now. So we got our proportion set up. Now we're going to do some cross product work and solve it. So here we go. Again, same start. 6 times X is 6X, of course. Now I got to do 32 times 11.5. So we can bring the old trusty calculator back over. 32 times 11.5. And you can see that is 368 on the dot. Okay, 368. Now I've got my little one-step equation set up. I got 6x equals 368, so I just got to divide by 6 on both sides. Of course, 6 divided by 6 is 1. They cancel out. And so let's see how many miles it is actually between Concord and Greensboro. 368 divided by 6. All right, it's got a lot of glare on it. So 61.33 to the hundredths place, 61.33 miles. If we went to the hundredths place, of course, again, if it said something about to the tenths place, that would just be 61.3 if it asked for the tenths place. So 61.33 to the hundredths, 61.3 to the tenths place. All right, so then in the next section, okay, after those first 5 questions, okay, those first 5 questions right there are using that scale. And the next 5 questions, we're changing the scale. You can see right here it says now change your scale to 4 centimeters equals 23 miles. So I'll do one of those with you, and we'll see what the time-wise that puts us at. So 4 centimeters equals 23 miles for this one. 4 centimeters equals 23 miles. Okay. So we're changing up the scale just a little bit on these next 5 problems to 4 centimeters equals 23 miles. All right, let's pick a couple more cities over here that we're not actually doing. So let's say we're going to go from, let's see, Gap is up here. Y'all see Gap? I got it circled right there. Look at the little, you know, like the GAP, okay, right there. Let's say we're going to go from Gap to another one over here. Let's go, all the way to Locust Hill, which is another one you got to do. So let's go from there to there, okay? So that's getting you familiar with those two cities. So we're going to go from Gap to Locust Hill. All right, I'll write it on here. Gap to Locust Hill. All right. Now, let's slide it back up here, and let's bring the ruler back up, and we're going to go from the middle of that little circle at Gap to the middle of that little circle at Locust Hill and see how many centimeters apart they are. So let me get that lined up on that one, and lined up on that one. So that, of course, is right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.3 or 9.4. Let's just go with 9.4. All right, so I'm going to say it's 9.4 centimeters between those two towns right there. 9.4 centimeters. All right, and now I'm ready to set up my proportion. This time I've got a different scale. So this time I'm going to go 4 centimeters over 23 miles equals 9.4 centimeters over x. Again, you always want to put down the scale first. 4 times x, of course, is 4x. 23 times 9.4. We'll pull the calculator over here for that. 23 times 9.4. That is 2. Let's see if y'all can see that. 216.2. 216.2. All right, and now, of course, I've got to do one more step to solve it and find out how many miles they're actually apart. So I got to divide by 4 on both sides, because that's my number with my variable. So 4 divided by 4, of course, cancels out to 1. And let's see what 216 divided by 4 is. That is 54.05 miles. All right, so if it wanted you to go to the nearest hundredths place, of course, that is to the hundredths place. If you had to go to the tenths place, since that is a 5 right there, okay, that would round it up to 54.1 if you went to the nearest tenths place. Just depends on which one they're asking for. All right, so that gives you a good idea of how all this is supposed to work. So you're finding the distance between these in real miles, okay, by setting up and solving a proportion. Okay, so set up and solve a proportion. All right, so put your scale first. Put your measurement right there, because centimeters is on top there, centimeters on top there. Do your cross products, 6 times x, cross products there, 32 times 16.2. And this last one, of course, we changed the scale. 4 times x is 4x, 23 times 9.4 gave us 216.2. Make sure you set up and solve a proportion to find that space between them cities in real miles on that you're using this out.
It says centimeters, this one right here, the one that's got the little bitty marks in between it like this, it says centimeters. Make sure you're using the centimeter sign. Good luck, people. Alright, hope you have a good success with it. Peace. Ciao for now. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Till tomorrow.